All right, hi there, and a very warm welcome to the Love Audio Production YouTube channel. My name is Paul Webber. Great to be here today. It's the daytime, and it's just after 1 o'clock p.m. In the UK. Whatever time it is, wherever you are, do let me know in the comments, and I will flash those up during the show. Today's show is about basically vMix have updated their software, so I've updated that to the current version, which is 29.0.0.46. They're constantly updating it, which is brilliant, and it keeps it nice and fresh. I also wanted to test that I could stream live using a 1080p instead of the 720 that I have been doing. I'm limited by the video card in my laptop, so that's an issue. I'm just waiting for a friend of mine to update my PC so I can get that back and up and running for streaming. Also wanted to cross today to look at the PRESONUS and Fender merger. PRESONUS own Fender, or Fender own PRESONUS, and they've taken over the software, PRESONUS Studio Pro, and they've changed it to Fender Studio Pro. So we're going to take a look. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know. We're going to take a look at that today, so stay with us. All right, for this one, I'll probably go over to my desktop, so let's do that very briefly. You can see vMix, of course, there. I'm just going to open up Fender, which has got a shortcut on my taskbar down the bottom there. Just give it 2 seconds while it loads up, and you'll see that come to life, hopefully, fingers crossed. There we go. So that's Fender Studio Pro. That's the splash screen that you get, first of all. It's scanning the plugins that you can download as part of the package that you automatically get. If you're already a subscriber to PRESONUS Studio Pro, then it kind of migrates across without any cost. If you have another package, you may need to upgrade and pay a small fee. I think it's like $60 or whatever it is. But best to check out Fender's website in order to get the correct update costs as regards to that. Okay, so just bear that in mind, that if you are kind of cross-migrating or cross-grading, as they call it, then you may need to look at what that's going to cost you on a monthly basis, all right? I haven't got my MIDI keyboard plugged in, so I'm just going to click no on that one. The mixing desk, the X32 Compact from Behringer, is my sound card of choice. And it's just bringing up all the bits and pieces. It's loading the program itself. It's loading the last preset that I was using, or the last project that I was working on, which is this one. I'm going to play it to you so that you can hear what we were doing last time. This is just purely through the microphone, which is the Rode NT1A, the one that I'm using right here. Hopefully you can see that on screen. So I'm just going to play that for you now. Brought to you by the Good Bean Company. Brought to you by the Good Bean Co. Brought to you by the Good Bean Company. Brought to you by the Good Bean Company. Brought to you by the Good Bean Co. Brought to you by the Good Bean Co. There we go, that's the next one. Sponsored by Love Cruise, your local cruise specialist. Find out more at lovecruise.co.uk. Sponsored by Love Cruise, your local cruise specialist. Get in touch at lovecruise.co.uk. With Love Cruise, your local independent cruise specialist. Hope that was okay, Peter. There we go. So that's been sent to the producer. The radio station V2 Radio will edit that and put it with music and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit of a bumper, a bit of a sponsorship bumper. But I just wanted to demonstrate the quality of the microphone through the desk. It's got a little bit of compression on there. I'm not going to say it hasn't, but that's just basically to make it sound nice. They'll maybe put more compression or less compression at their end, and whatever features they use in order to bring it to life and get it to air. So yeah, and the client's really happy with those voiceovers. Like I say, they are just different versions of the tag itself, so that the producer has got options that he or she can choose which particular version of that voiceover they want to use for the production. So yeah, it's pretty good. But like you can see, Studio Pro isn't a lot different to the layout for PRESONUS Studio One. So I just think it's a lot neater. You've got the compact kind of view at the top here, where you can change between the universal setting here with your mouse, the arrow tool as it's showing there highlighted. You've got a split tool here, so if I wanted to split that particular audio file into two, so there's two different voiceovers going on there. This is the first one with the first quotations, and then it stops there. So if I wanted to split that, I can do. And then if I wanted to just move it around a bit, I can do. I can move that around like that. I can bring it back to there. I can take it down to a different... Oops, I can drag it down to... Oh, no, hang on. I can drag it down to a different track if I wanted to, put it back where it was. I can also merge it and blend it if I wanted to, so I can crossfade those two things into each other, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to mess around with it too much on this particular stream, because I don't want to mess it up in case they need a new version of it, in which case I'd probably just record a new one. Do you know what I mean? It's not a big deal. But that's that. Let me just quickly take a look at... That's all fine. So Jaden's in the house. Hello, Jaden. Thank you very much indeed for joining. Do let us know where you're streaming or watching this particular stream from. I think you're in America as far as I understand, but I'm not entirely sure which part of the USA you are. So yeah, do let us know in the comments where you are from and what kind of time of day it is. What weather are you having over there right now? I know that in New York, I was watching a video earlier on, a live stream of somebody walking through the streets of New York, and it was just this blizzard going on and people trying to clear the streets and clear the pavements and everything else. We aren't having any of that right now. We've got kind of damp conditions here in the UK. It was cold last night, down to about 1 degree, so there was ice on the cars and bits and pieces, but nothing of a frost, and no torrential rain that we've had in the last few weeks, which is good news, because a lot of places did get flooded, especially around here in rural Devon in England, so hopefully we won't get too much more of that. All right, let's get back to Studio One. So it's going to be a hard habit to break. It's the Studio Pro from PRESONUS, not from PRESONUS, it's from Fender. My gosh, that's going to take a while to get used to. I mean, think of the years that I've been using PRESONUS for. So yeah, having Fender as the head honchos on that particular thing is going to take a lot to get used to. I wanted just to save this particular product, so just go to File and Save, and that's keeps it the same. If I'm going to make any changes, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I, let's say for instance, wanted to kind of move that around a bit and move it back, then, you know, it is what it is. And then it puts an asterisk up by the name of the project. So you know that changes have been made. Therefore, if you don't want to save the changes, then just close it out. But if you want to save it, I always try and save. It does save every 5 minutes anyway, so it saves to your hard drive, wherever you store your audio products and stuff like that. So it does save automatically. However, if you want to be, you know, belt and braces, as we call it, then I would, you know, get into the habit of saving each project as it goes on. So I'm going to close that out, and we'll just take a look at the front screen as you kind of open up Fender Studio Pro. And this is what you see. So left-hand side, you've got all of your projects down here that you've particularly, you know, worked on. And don't forget, a lot of these, I've only just updated the software. So a lot of these were in PRESONUS Studio One. So they've been migrated across automatically. I wanted to reassure you that that does happen. So all of the projects that I've been working on for the past, I don't know, 5-6 months, it says down here, like back to 5 months ago, then those are all saved and brought over from your existing software. So you don't lose anything, which is fantastic. So that's really, really good. So say, for instance, I wanted to open up a new project. You click on the new button here, and this will bring up options. So you can either just straightforward record and mix, give it a title, and then you press OK, and away you go. My sample rate is 48 kilohertz, and you just go from there. If you wanted to master and release a project, then again, you go over to this side, you change the sample rate to 48 if you wanted to 48, or you can go to 44.1, which is CD quality, of course, but 48 studio quality. So we go to 48 kilohertz, and then give it a title, and away you go. Rehearse and perform, that's a new show again. You know, you can actually rehearse and perform from a set list that you've already compiled, perhaps, and bring that into the system and then play along with it. You can launch loops as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So you use the launcher there. Let's go with Let's have a look. So we've got Detroit, techno, modern techno. You've got disco. You've got electro, electronica, garage, house, deep house, progressive house, soul, and trap. You've got ambient ticked at the moment. Let's go with house and deep house. Okay. And it's a template. There is a tutorial button as well. So if you go to the right and press that, then I think it should launch. So we go to here, click OK. So it's loading the workspace now. The sample rate doesn't match. It's not a problem. I'm not really too bothered about that. Splice sounds, yeah, I subscribe to Splice anyway, so that's all good. So let's press play and see what we hear. Nice kick drum there. Oh boy, that's deep. Recommend listening on headphones, by the way. Sounds absolutely amazing. This is nice. The quality is amazing, isn't it? And if you wanted to remix this, you can do. You can drag and drop all these kind of blocks along. And this shows how many times it plays in each of the scenes that you're running through. It's currently running through breakdown, and then it stops. Okay, I was expecting a much longer song, but yeah. But you get the idea. You can always duplicate that, of course. So that's your file search bar there at the right-hand side. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me pointing at the screen. But yeah, you know what I mean. On the right-hand side, you've got the instruments, effects, loops, and all that kind of stuff, and splice and bits and pieces. And you can drag and drop samples into there. And then on the next button along, you've got Mixer. So here we are. Let's play that track again. Yeah. Let's get it back to the beginning. There we go. Okay. So on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can. Okay, so you've got the kick coming in there, and then you've got this drums. And then you have the hi-hats and cymbals and bits and pieces here. It's a full drum kit there. And you've got a riser, which is on track 9. And then the Vox effects and the synth stabs come in as well. And then back to your drums. Got the drums stripped back on the left-hand side of the mixer there where my mouse is. And you've got the bass there and the synth harp as well, which is like an arpeggiator. But I think the quality is absolutely amazing. Let's move along. Nice. You've got a texture effect there. That's a drop. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So that's the and because we've changed a few things on here, what it's done is put an asterisk at the top there. You see that where the name is. So you can change the name, obviously, of the production. But what I'm going to do is close it out. It'll ask me if I want to save it or not. And I'm just going to know, because it's a template, so I don't want to go messing around with that too much anyway. But it's great to be able to practice on these things. So if you go to New again, and we've obviously explored the Launch Loops project that you can open. Record Now is literally just that. So you either plug a guitar and vocal into it, or a full band or whatever, or a single track, and you can just get on and record straight away. So it's very easy to be able to get to a brand new project without too much hassle in this particular software, which is pretty cool, I think. You can mix in surround with spatial audio. 7.1.2 is a format. There's loads of drop-down menus here. So you've got stereo, 3.0 cinematic, you've got 5.0, you've got 7.1.2, which is what we talked about just now, and that goes all the way up to 0.6. So depending on the amount of speakers you have and the setup you've got in your audio, then you know the sky's the limit as regards mixing in surround. And then you can produce beats, so you can build a new beat from scratch. So let's take a quick look at that and see how that operates. We're not going to save anything as we go along because it is a template again. So we'll just try this and see what happens. So this is loading all the various instruments that it needs in order to produce any beats. So it says, want to create an awesome beat with just a few clicks? Then look no further than this beat making template. Fantastic. Next. You can enter notes or rhythms for any instrument currently selected in the track list, manually click on any of the steps inside the grid, or by using the convenient shortcut buttons, you know, set every fourth step, for instance, okay? Next is change the step length. So each lane has its own step length. Combining different lengths inside a pattern creates interesting polymeters. Automate steps, velocity, probability, repeats, delays, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Now, if you're used to creating beats, then you'll know all about this terminology. You can create variations within the track. And then finally, the message is, if you want to click more, click on there, how to learn how to use it, blah, blah, blah. So we close that out. And so we've got a pattern here. It's a drum template at the top. We're just going to go randomly. Hang on. Oh, okay, down here. Right, so. I want a bass drum, where are we? This is not creating. Oh, okay. Where's my bass? Here we go. Kick low. Right. Oh yeah. So that's probably not going to be in the right place. So let's go with 5, 8. That one. And that one. Let's just try. This is going to sound awful, but. Okay, so that'll repeat, and then you can add stuff to it with regards to any other instruments. So let's go bass line. Go back to the drum again. What I'd like to do is put a snare. So you can see it's quite easy to start building up a beat. These are chords. This will be interesting. Yeah, not bad. And that's a very simple kind of beat. And obviously it repeats until you tell it not to or whatever. And it puts all the effects and stuff in it as well, and you can adjust that as you go along by opening up the mixing console, which is just here. And of course, whatever's playing, you can adjust on the fly. And again, because you've made changes to this particular template, it puts an asterisk at the top where the name is, at the top of the screen there. Hopefully you can see that right at the top. Maybe it's just off the screen here, actually, with regards to what you can't see. So just above where it says session, track, event, that kind of thing, there's a name of the project that you're working on. And next to that, if you've made any changes, it will put an asterisk next to that. So you know you've made changes. And if you don't want to save the changes, again, you go File and Close, and it'll prompt you to be able to save it. And you can save it as, or just say yes or no, whatever. So we're going to go no on this occasion and then close that out. So that's pretty cool as well. Back to this, so then you've got jam now, so you can jam with instruments or vocals. They've got some examples up here, so I'm going to play those, see what happens. And it gives you options to download that particular project into your tracks so that you can play along with it, yeah? That's nice. So you've got a Neon Sunset, this is indie, they've described it as. Quite upbeat, I like that. Okay, pop rock is All My Life. They've titled that one, so let's have a listen to that. It sounds like it belongs in the new Devil Wears Prada film, which comes out May the 1st. The trailer is out now, by the way, on Instagram, YouTube, you name it. It's pretty cool. Can't wait. I've got the book, by the way. I'm going to read the book before I see the film, see if there's any difference. Anyway, that's called All My Life. Got Ashes of Empires. This is going to be metal, so let's have a listen. It's definitely metal, that is, isn't it? I like that. Okay, Come Down. This is alternative rock. Okay. Nice. So I've got country on here as well, so country music. There's some good old country going there, boy. I love that. Nice. Classic rock. And obviously these have been produced by, proper musicians and stuff, and they've been used royalty-free, I'm guessing, just to bring in on these jam tracks, which you can download. I'm going to try and download one in a second, so I just want to pick one that I think we can work with. Let's have a listen. Classic rock. Let's go with this one. Everything Comes True, from like a pop genre. See what happens when we press the download button. Nearly there, 100%. Okay, so I'm going to click OK when it allows me to. Maybe grayed out. There we go. Click OK. This is the jam track. There we go. So the sample doesn't match. I know, it's fine. That's okay. So what it does, it brings in all of the stems, and these tracks are called stems. You can export those manually. But what it does is gives you, if you're not used to using music production software, then it gives you a great overview about how these are put together. So the top one, if I can just zoom in, you can see at the top, and obviously this is really, really close zoomed in. So you've got the chord progressions at the top here. And on the left-hand side, it tells you it's chords, and then you've got arranger. So the arranger bit is where you call it like the verse or the chorus or whatever it might be. So as you go along the song, you can see that the chords obviously change. The pre-chorus comes in here. Chorus there. Bridge. Verse 2. pre-chorus, etc., right to the end. Okay, outro and ending. So that's the arranger and chords at the top there. Then you've got the drums on this track here, bass, guitar, piano, pad, and all that kind of stuff. So let's play it and see how that goes along. There's a guitar track there on track 3 in stereo. Drums kick in. Let's have a look at the mixer, see what that's doing. So if you wanted to, you could add a vocal track to this. Just open up a new track and click record. It's nice. Okay, we're going to leave it there. It's a pretty long song, so I'm not going to go into too much of that. But you get the idea of how you can actually bring a track in, download it first, of course, to your system, and then bring a track in, and then you can play with it however you want. So it's great to practice on. And you can, open up the window here, drag different effects into it in the inserts or the sends. And then you've got mastering at the end there as well if you want to go to the mix effects section at the right-hand side. So there's plenty that you can do with this, which I think is really, really cool. So let's drag that down to there so you can see the tracks again above that. Okay. I'm not going to save it, as I said before. I'm going to just close that out. So do you want to save it? No. So that goes back to the original template that you saw. So what else have we got here? Let's have a look. So we've got down as far as Jam Now. Then you've got Create Content. You can create a podcast with or without video. Sounds really interesting as well. And then you can import files. So you can import your own audio and then start mixing it just in that particular project there. Next one is audio interfaces. So you can record with PRESONUS and Fender devices plugged into your the computer that's running it. And then demos and sessions are here as well. So you can download various demos from PRESONUS or from Fender users that have created these tracks for you to play around with, okay? So let's just click on this one here. Let's have a look, session. So you've got quite a few to choose from. We've got Lena Smith and Max Coney, Rhythm of the Night. Then you've got a binaural mix there as well of that one. DJ Jazzy Jeff, Get Some Air. What do you reckon we try that, yeah? There we go. Click OK. It's downloading all the bits and pieces that it uses within that particular production. And then once it's done, it should open up the project for you, like so. And we know the sample rate doesn't match. There we go. Session contains copyrighted material. You must not use any material without the author's agreement. There you go. So it's not royalty free, so you can't use it commercially, but you can use it to mess around with and practice and all that kind of stuff, okay? So that's that. We'll click out the details. You can read that in your own time, of course. It's the official website of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Mag Mob. The Mag Mob. Mag Mob. Yeah, I'm down with the kids, me. Okay, so we'll close out the instruments window and close out the mixer window, I think, currently. Don't want to have a look at that, but we're just going to play what's on here. It's quite a big project, to be fair. There's plenty going on there. You see that all the way down here? So he's actually using, get this, good grief, 61 audio tracks. I kid you not. So on the left-hand side, hopefully you can see that. It goes down to 61. Excuse me. 61 tracks. So, without further ado, let's click on it, see what it sounds like, yeah? I apologise if there's any F's and Jeffs in it. This is the first time I've seen this.
like, I need a quick second to myself, don't mind me. I tried to be a little more stealth, but kindly I need a couple minutes in the outdoors. I can breathe and regimented. You can count yours if you want to. I'm trying to get out my own. Little way. Put down my phone. Focus on the moment from start to finish. You gotta live it to get it. Forgive me, I need a minute. Day after day, it's another problem. Something getting in the way, and I'm getting sick and tired.
Can I just draw your attention to, on the left-hand side, the synths section here, which I've highlighted. Let me move it up a bit for you so you can see it. This has got a folder, so when you click on the folder, that opens up the synths for you. There's quite a lot of synths in there, but they've been packed into a folder, which you can do. I might have to slide to clear my mind. I need to go get some air, Need to go get some air. Wanna drive? I'm in the whip on the passenger side. From my ADH to OCD, I'ma get away, let it set me free. Think it's about that time I go outside. I need to go get some air, Need to go get some air. Nice. I think it's really nice. Need to go get some air. Need to go get some air. Yeah, I really like that. That's really nice. And you know what? It's so refreshing to kind of see how other producers get involved and create so many tracks. And that's like 61 tracks there with all sorts of things on it, from, you know, lead chorus synth. You've got whatever that is. I can't read that properly. Let's see if I can expand it. There we go. Deep Flight 1 keys. You've got that. Let me just stop that a second. You've got piano, Deep Flight 1, fragile bass, harp. You've got a harp in there? Wow. Strings, synth loop, something that's been imported there, not quite sure what that is. You've got effects on there, of course, trailer effects, wind chime. You know, so many different instruments and vocal tracks and bits and pieces. And again, in that folder with the vocals, you can unpack that, so click that, and then unpack the actual folder. You'll see that the vocals, well, that's the effects package, I beg your pardon. So let's close that out. Click the wrong one there for you. This is the vocals. So we open that up. Let's scroll it up for you. So you can see the various vocal tracks in the folder. So they've recorded the vocal tracks separately, but imported them into the folder. So actually, there aren't just 61 tracks. There are probably 70 odd tracks on here, because there's different vocals, but they've pre-mixed the vocals, let me say that, and then they've imported them into this particular folder. Okay, so that's how that works. That's brilliant. Love that. So much work has gone into this, it's unreal. So far be it from me to mess around with it. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. So you can import, what I'm trying to get to is the fact that you can import demos into it, and then look at how they did it and play around with it to your heart's content, whatever it is. But you cannot release it, you know, publicly, of course, because it's copyrighted material. I'm going to close that out, and I don't want to save it. Just click no, and then that closes that particular project. But that's fantastic. I love that. Finally, so look, we're down to the last section anyway. So there you go. There's plenty to get your teeth into when you get hold of Fender Studio Pro, which is the kind of upgrade from PRESONUS Studio One Pro. Fender took over PRESONUS some time ago, and this particular month they've released this Fender Studio Pro to their PRESONUS users and the wider public. So fair play to them. Thank you so much. Superb. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of wraparound of the Fender takeover of PRESONUS and the fact that we've had a look at some of the software inside the software, so some of the functions within the software, of course, that you can play around with and use. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll try and answer them as best I can. In the meantime, we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching and take care. That's my next project, is to dive into the vMix software and speed that up, because it was on time and it finished with the music. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, catch you next time.